Well, we've been talking about it all this week. We're surrounded by pink here in our studio. Tomorrow marks the 5th anniversary of the Gundersen Lutheran Medical Foundation's Steppin' Out in Pink event. The walk raises money for local breast cancer research, and chances are you know someone, I know you know someone whose life has been touched by breast cancer. And in this morning's In Search Of, we spotlight a local survivor you may know very well.
Hey, welcome to the holiday weekend, friends. Karen Williams hanging out with you today.
Classic Rock 100.1 DJ Karen Williams is a familiar voice to many in the area.
100.1 Classic Rock that really rocks. There's Jefferson Starship with Jane.
Karen's energy and spunk comes across loud and clear to her listeners.
Things are going to be scorching hot.
But what you might be surprised to hear is that this 40-something is a breast cancer survivor.
I went in for my mammogram after putting it off, and finally my husband said, look, this is in our insurance, just go get your mammogram done, you know. And I got a phone call back from the lab and said that they had spotted something and they wanted to do another mammogram just in case it was a wrinkle. And I remember going back in to have the second one done, and she had my x-ray up on the light and I could see it. I could see right where it was.
A biopsy quickly followed with what originally was reassuring news.
That came back negative. But then Dr. Landerkasper, he said I'd feel so much better if we just took out that lump. So I went in and had surgery, had a lumpectomy. The day after surgery, that Dr. Landerkasper called me, and he called me at work, and I answered the phone, and he said, this is Jeffrey Landerkasper. And in a few seconds, I thought, oh, another Landerkasper. How odd is that? My surgeon's name is Landerkasper. And then it went, oh no, this is him. Oh no, he's calling me at work. Oh no, this isn't good news. And he said, it's cancer.
Cancer. No matter how common that diagnosis has become, you never think it's going to happen to you.
It really came as a shock. The first thing I did, of course, was I called my husband.
She started to cry and said that she had cancer. And I started to cry. I couldn't believe it. And we won the lottery that you don't want to win.
And then I went in to tell my boss, because my boss, Pat Smith, had just been diagnosed with cancer himself.
I remember that day. I felt, my first reaction was, this can't be. I mean, and it's unbelievable that we'd have two people in the building that are going through that.
And I'll never forget, his face he kind of crumbled. He stood up immediately, came around his desk, and we just hugged.
Fortunately for Karen, the cancer had not yet spread to her lymph nodes. Reassuring news that, as her doctor explained,
and he said, and I hung on to this for the rest of my treatment, he said, this isn't going to be what kills you.
She went through 33 painful radiation treatments, but every time she started to get down,
I'd realize how lucky I was that I had gotten it early. I didn't lose my breasts. I didn't have to have chemotherapy, and that kept me going. I can't feel sorry for myself so much when there's other women in the waiting room with me who are sick and in wheelchairs and losing their hair and scared to death because they're at stage 4.
She handled it unbelievably well. I'm sure inside there was the fear and also the not feeling good and that type of thing. But on the exterior, she was Karen.
This Saturday, Karen will lace up her shoes and walk as a breast cancer survivor in the Steppin' Out in Pink fundraiser.
We have our team with the lacrosse radio group, and we call it Radioactive.
This is the second time Karen will walk in Steppin' Out in Pink. Last year, she crossed the finish line just months after her treatment.
And the whole Steppin' Out in Pink experience was amazing. And so I can't wait to do it again this year. I just can't wait.
We're going to think pink. We're going to step out in pink, and then we're going to rock out in pink.
Karen is now using that very recognizable voice of hers to share her story and hopefully save a life.
Now I'm on a mission. Now my listeners are going to hear about it. Early detection, get those mammograms done, girls. And guys like my husband, you know, make her go. Don't let her keep putting it off. Get those mammograms. Saved my life. It could have been a lot worse.
Well, listen to this, because this story gets even what I think cooler, because breast cancer has changed Karen's life in more ways than one. After last year's walk, she crossed the finish line just a few months after her treatment, and she admits that she was exhausted, she was feeling terrible, she could barely make it, out of breath. She says she took a good look at herself and decided, you know, I need to start eating better, I need to start exercising more, and she has since lost 50 pounds. Since last year's walk, she's like, I'm going to lose even more after that. So it really has turned her life around. Yeah. Now, if you would like to take part in Steppin' Out in Pink, it starts tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. You can register beforehand. It's $25 to register. We would love to see you out there. It's at the Gundersen Lutheran Lacrosse campus. They have a walking trail out there, and that's where we will be. If you'd like to find out more information, you can go to gundluth.org/steppinout. We hope to see you there tomorrow.